Alright, welcome to the debut episode of The Final Take. I'm Jason Rogers.
And I'm Parker Mott.
And on this week's show, we are reviewing Avatar, Up in the Air, Sherlock Holmes, and Invictus.
And we'll also be discussing our DVD picks of the week and the bombs of 2009.
Worst. It's gonna be fun.
I can't wait. Why do you get the comfy chair?
And our first movie up on our list today is Avatar. Avatar, at this point, has already grossed almost $1.5 billion around the world. Talk about a blockbuster.
You are on Pandora, ladies and gentlemen. Respect that fact every second of every day. If there is a hell, you might want to go there for some R&R.
Now, the people are on this planet are the humans and the Na'vi, who are blue people, who, as you find out, are very hard to kill. Avatar is an insanely entertaining movie because it envelops this wonderful world of beautiful new 3D imagery that is just absolutely insane to watch, especially in IMAX 3D, which I witnessed it in. It really brings out the action and also brings out the little details that you see, like the little white animals, the leaves, and all of the creative effects that are in the movie. Basically, when you look at it, Avatar is just this wonderful movie to look at. It has some solid acting, including great performance from Sam Worthington as the lead, who is the guy who basically is sort of put into this world, and he's told to go in and infiltrate the Na'vi, but he ends up being torn between sides. It is an epic in every which way. And granted, the script is total garbage, but if you are going to see this movie, you are not going to see it for the script. You are going to see it because it is Avatar. By all means, see this movie.
Yeah, you see, I'm sort of torn on this one because, you know, usually it'd be a rent it for me.
Yeah, I know what you mean, what you mean.
But the thing about this movie is, it's Avatar. I mean, the visual of it, it's reason enough for me to say see it, because it looks so good, and it just... You're right, the script is like,
I know. It's just, you know, they're like the only people in the world who ever say these things that are on the screen, only for the purpose of moving the story forward. And the, Stephen Lang, he gives a good performance, but his lines
make him just so laughable.
I really thought he was like a Robert Duvall character in Apocalypse Now, just really way below par. And the film... The first half is really good. It's kind of like this Dances with Wolves element, and that was really working for me. I was like, okay, this is good. We have something interesting here. Then the second half, there's a big drop-off. I just thought it was just pure, like, it kind of did what District 9 did. I really like District 9, a great premise.
Yeah, it's a great movie, yes.
And then the second half, we get this, like, almost like Transformers-like action sequence, and it gets tedious.
Well, I know what you're saying, but, like, when you look at Avatar, like, you know, like, introducing it is, like, you know, a journey in itself, but, like, well, it's just, you know there's going to be an epic battle at the end. Like, you know it's coming. I
thought it was a fortune cookie message. Like, they're saying, like, protect the environment. That part didn't work for me, personally.
I don't know about it, man. It's just, I really liked it. I just found myself losing myself in this world. And yeah, like, you know, it's Pocahontas, and yeah, it's Dances with Wolves, but... Like, do you honestly care? This world is just, it's too good. It's too visually engrossing and arresting to even deny, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but there's a lot of things, like, it kind of gets cliche, like Pocahontas, Dances with Wolves. There's a lot of stuff we've seen here before, you know, the military becoming the antagonist and everything. There's a lot here, and
the War on Terror, you know.
It got strikingly familiar after a while, and I'm just like, the 3D part is a bit of a gimmick, but I like how it kind of puts you into the world, like, with the ash coming down and everything. That was cool. So visually, I'm saying see it, but everything else I would usually say skip it. But I think you need to go see this film. It's kind of, you're obliged to go see it.
Yeah.
And if you are to see it, you should see it in 3D for sure.
You have to see it.
You have to see it in 3D. Yes.
Don't go see it in 2D. It's pointless.
Yeah,
really.
yeah.
So definitely see it for the 3D.
Yeah.
How much does your life weigh? Imagine for a second that you're carrying a backpack. Now, I want you to pack it with all the stuff that you have in your life. You start with the little things, the things on shelves and in drawers, the knickknacks. You start adding larger stuff. Clothes, tabletop appliances, lamps, your TV. Backpack should be getting pretty heavy now. You go bigger. Your couch, your car, your home. I want you to stuff it all into that backpack.
Okay, we go from a smoking lobbyist to a man who fires people and Up in the Air, Jason Reitman's third movie, which is basically about a man named Ryan Bingham, played by George Clooney, who goes around, like I said, to various places to fire people because their bosses don't really have the chops to do it. So, we're introduced to a man who really needs to find a connection, and he finds this woman named Vera Farmiga, who deserves an Oscar nomination for this.
You satisfied with Maestro?
Yeah, I am.
A little stingy with their miles. I like Hertz.
Hertz doesn't guarantee navigation.
It's funny, you don't seem like a girl who needs directions.
I hate asking for directions. That's why I get an app.
I'm Ryan.
I'm Alex.
Eventually, Ryan Bingham teams up with Anna Kendrick. Her character is Natalie Keener, and she kind of redeems herself after the miserable Twilight series, and she does a good job here. She's somewhat over the top at times, but overall fairly good. And they're kind of the opposites attract. They don't really understand each other, but they have these really, really great, well-written sequences of dialogue.
Natalie Keener, I want you to show her the ropes.
I'm not a tour guide.
This is the boat, this is you. You want to be in the boat?
Yeah, alone.
Show her the magic, take her through the paces.
Follow me. You never get behind old people. Their bodies are littered with hidden metal, and they never seem to appreciate how little time they have left in the bingo. Asians. They pack light, travel efficiently, and they got a thing for slip-on shoes. God love them.
That's racist.
I'm like my mother. I stereotype. It's faster.
Up in the Air has a really good first half, a very interesting premise about a man who's really forced to do things that really mess with him and kind of form how he lives. He's always up in the air. And Jason Reitman is good at showing this, but sometimes I feel a bit too grounded with this film. I feel like I know too much. I want to be left more up in the air, no pun intended. That's how I want to feel, just kind of floaty. This film, it felt like I understood this character too much. This isn't Reitman's best film. I do like Thank You for Smoking a lot more. It's a bit more, has a lot more humor in it, I found. I thought the character was a bit more interesting than George Clooney. Like, again, I didn't know as much about the character in Thank You for Smoking. Whereas here, I felt like I knew too much. Overall, this is a fairly good film. I don't know if it's a Best Picture of the Year, but I am saying see it for some really good filmmaking with shots from the sky and everything. Mm-hmm. I really like that film. I don't think it's his best film, but I do say see it.
I say see it as well, and I think I like this a lot more than you because just it's bursting with originality, which is very hard to come by in Hollywood. Because like you have like these blockbusters a week, you have like the ones that you anticipate all the time, and this is sort of a movie that catches you off guard with its intelligence, its wit, and its story, because it's perfect for our times, obviously, with the economic downturn and whatnot. George Clooney, I don't think he's ever been better in another movie.
Yeah.
He won the Oscar for Seriano, but he goes so deep into his character right here, and there are some scenes that are just, they really cut to the core of this man who spends his life flying. Like, there is a scene in the movie where he says, I've spent 330-something days on the road, and I spent 23 miserable days at home. Yeah. This is a guy who, lives in the air, and you understand that.
But that's a life you shouldn't really understand, because I haven't lived in the air for, he is, what is he going for, 10 million miles, basically? That's his goal. That's one goal he's going after.
That is true, and I know we're not supposed to know about that, but that's what this movie does. It gets you to know that.
We go to the wedding of Ryan Bingham's sister, and I thought that really was just a scene that could have been easily cut out. It didn't.
It was a bit different shift in tone, but I think that the feelings that came before it kind of made it feel more authentic. Because in the beginning, you hear he doesn't really stay in contact with his sister because he's always flying around. He doesn't like staying in one place at one time. Therefore, he obviously has family issues because he can't be around for them. And
why make us go see that? Why not just have remember he has that paper board where he takes the pictures of him of his sister and her fiance. I thought that was cool because you don't get to know these people.
That was neat.
Why explore that? We don't. It doesn't matter. We want we care about Ryan Bingham. And I think Jason Reitman is a really good director. I love Thank You for Smoking. That was one of my favorite movies of that year. And Juno, again, pretty good movie.
Both are great. Like this guy is no doubt a great filmmaker. Like he has this different eye than a lot of other people. Like like Quentin Tarantino has his own eye, and Catherine Bigelow, who directed The Hurt Locker and Point Break and all those great movies, has her own eye. He has a great vision of these different types of stories, and it is clearly Oscar bait. And I will not be surprised to see it at the now 10 nominees for Best Picture.
In context, the film couldn't have came out at a better time.
I know, really.
That's what makes this movie. I think we're going to remember it at this time during the recession and everything. I think that those interviews, some of them are real, by the way.
Yes,
I heard about that. They actually took people who were actually fired and put them on screen and get them to talk about it.
J.K. Simmons gets a...
Exactly. J.K. Simmons has a great, almost depressingly funny part.
Really,
but I'll save that for the movie. I just think this is a great movie that you need to see, just because you know it's going to be at the Oscars. Great acting. I love the writing in this movie, and the direction is just. He's a great filmmaker, and by all means, see this movie.
Well said.